Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste, friends. In continuation of the calculations on longevity, I have erected one more Excel file based upon a method from the book called The Span of Life by one Sri Govindu Sri Ramamurthy, GS Rama Murthi. And it's an old book. Further editions have come. This is, he writes, in one family of astrologers, I have seen them practicing the following method with success. And he gives the method, a very simple method. Basically, it involves only the Rasi chart and only the different references. The Janma Lagna as a reference, Chandra Lagna as a reference, the Arudha Lagna as a reference, the Paaka Lagna as a reference. So the method involves these references, and the Paaka Lagna, by Paaka Lagna we mean where the Lagna Lord is, that's the Paaka Lagna. And he sets, gives an example file in which I had to work out, I could not find the date of birth and all that. From the chart I could make it again. He had Rahu Saturn, the standard horoscope had Rahu Saturn here and Ketu Jupiter here with Makara Lagna. That turned out to be October 11th, 1911 with these planetary positions. So this was taken up as an example file. The idea here is you have these references and you consider the first lord, the third lord, the eighth lord, and the 10th lord from this reference. And again, from Chandra Lagna, you consider the same lords. First lord from Chandra Lagna, third lord from Chandra Lagna, and so on and so forth. Similarly, the Arudha Lagna and from the Paaka Lagna. And then you will have to, it has a set of rules. The first rule is, if a planet is in a Kendra or a Trikona, the first lord, let us take this example. The first lord is from the Lagna, it's Saturn. So one has to have Saturn here. The third lord is Jupiter. The eighth lord is Sun for this example. Eighth lord is Surya and all that. So the user need not put in anything. He has to put in the database. He has to enter the data and take the reference point there, just like my other videos. And the date of birth is put in, it's taken from the database, and all the longitudes are erected and these charts are made. The user has to input only this color. Basically, some inputs are required, so those have to be put in. I will just take you through what calculations are made. So there are some rules. Rule 1 says, if the said lord be in a Kendra or a Kona from the Lagna in consideration, award a full mark. So when you are scoring it, when it is in a Kendra or a Kona, for instance, Saturn happens to be in the 4th, which is a Kendra, and Jupiter happens to be in the 10th. So Kendra again. Surya is in the 9th, which is a Kona. So all these get a mark, 1 mark, whereas Venus doesn't get any mark. And the second rule is, in case it is not getting a mark here, then you check whether it's in case a planet be neither in a Kendra nor a Kona, and if suppose he is in exaltation or in a own sign or Mula Trikona sign, or in the 3rd or in the 8th house, then he gets 0.5 marks. So, and in case he doesn't get in these two, you check if it's a malefic, natural malefic placed in the Upachayas. Upachaya is 3, 6, 10, and 11. Then he gets a mark. If it is 3, 6, 10, and 11, he gets a mark of 0.5. So this is when this doesn't get the mark. And the final score is in case he is debilitated, so it is basically a Harana on the score 1. If it is going to be debilitated or in an enemy sign or in an evil association or combust, then you are going to reduce this to 0.5. So essentially the total score maximum possible is only 1. So out of which, so for each row it is 1. So maximum score is 111 year. Since there are so many other 4 references, 4 into 4, 16 marks is the maximum mark. So maximum utmost longevity is thought to be 100 years. Therefore, 100 by 16 is for each unit. And you have to add up what units they have come out to. And that 100 by 16 for each unit, and the number of units will give you the number of years that you can expect the person to live. So this is the idea. I have put an Excel file, but it needs, it is not going to compute whether the planet is combust or not. Surya is never combust, so it's always a no there. But for other planets, you have to preferably do it in Jagannatha or some software and write it here whether it is combust or not. Similarly, what I do is I go to Jagannatha or I erect the chart and I have the aspect table. So the aspect table of relationships is a very quite useful. So sun is in enemy sign, moon is never not in enemy sign. And this is very useful to me. So I directly put in whether it is an enemy sign in the compound relationship or not, and if it's an evil association. Here Saturn is with Rahu, Mercury is with Surya, the eighth lord, Jupiter is with Ketu. So you can answer these things based upon Jagannatha Vara, and only these blue ones have to be entered, and the final answers would be put in here by the Excel directly. So this is can be expected. Of course, some subjectivity would be there because the in terms of answering some questions, uh, for instance, the author doesn't consider Surya to be ill associated, Mercury to be ill associated. Actually, Mercury is with Sun. I put it is in evil association, whereas the author hasn't put it so. There will be some subjectivity, but on the whole, it's a tool and it is left to you to, means even natural malefics, do we consider certain planets as natural? Moon, if you consider it as a waning moon, should you consider it as a natural malefic or not? These are again subjective questions. So one can either pull the previous formula, which is a VLOOKUP formula, or you can specifically say yes or no here, and then the marks will accordingly change. So flexible tool that way, but you'll have to understand and use it. The only, the user directly needs to put in this and just to see the number of years that the person can expect to live, and a relative measure of what is contributing for the overall life. Here the Arudha Lagna seems to be better off than the other Lagnas, the Janma Lagna, Chandra Lagna and Paaka Lagna. So we'll have to test it over many cases and then see if it works. It's a simple tool used by a family of astrologers. So as a first class reference, one maybe can put it to use. All the very best. Thank you.